benefit than the library is full with books, and all these books, how much you read and you read, you will be well educated, but no benefit. Why? Because no one do buy what there is inside it. It's only for decoration. 40 years, Maulana Shaykh Nazim, 70 years, 80 years, 100 years, Grand Shaykh giving teaching, but all taking this teaching till now to decorate themselves, to fight each other. No one is trying to practice what they have teaching us. All their teaching only for decoration. We will be happy when we are hearing from them what they are saying, but no one is practicing. We are carrying this teaching as Allah Almighty saying, giving example of children of Israel. Maulana, he said the children of Israel, Allah saying in the Holy Quran in Surah Al-Jum'ah, in the chapter Juz 28, الذين حملوا التوراة ثم لم يحملوها. استعيذ بالله. الذين حملوا التوراة ثم لم يحملوها. The one whom I gave them the Torah to do by the teaching of Allah Almighty and Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, because Torah, Allah addressed it to Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, descended on Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, while Allah Almighty descended the Holy Quran and the secrets of the Holy Quran when Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Sayyidina Musa, he was given the Torah as tablets written. Why? Because he's not able to carry, his body was not, Allah created him to be one to talk to Allah Almighty, but his heart, his elements was not to carry the revelation of Allah Almighty, the talk, the teaching of Allah Almighty, but to be given to him as tablets written to do by it, and children of Israel to do by it. Why? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Sayyidina Muhammad, sealed of Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Allah descending the Holy Quran, and like the Holy Quran, which gives the secrets of the Holy Quran, the realities and the wisdoms of the Holy Quran, which Allah making under every letter of the Holy Quran for the every type of awliya, how much they can take, how much they can suck from the oceans of the realities and secrets. For the lowest type of awliya, 24,000 ocean of realities and knowledge, and you can go up for endless. For the Holy Quran, Allah descending it on the heart of Rasulullah. It was not given as tablets, but it was addressed to the chest of Rasulullah, to the heart of Rasulullah. And the secret of the Holy Quran also was addressed to the chest and the hearts of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, where all other prophets, Bible, Torah, Zabur, 100 manuscript was not able to be given to them except written as manuscript or on tablets descended on them, not coming to their hearts, but to do by it, to practice it by heart, by physical body, so that Allah to be confirming them in the way of Allah Almighty. While Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam direct, Allah Almighty created the element of his heart and his chest to be the ayat of the Holy Quran, the secrets of the ayat of the Holy Quran, the oceans of secrets and reality of the Holy Quran. Some awliya they said there is 24,000 oceans. Some awliya they said 70,000. Some awliya said 124,000. Some awliya say like this or like. But reality, as one Shaykh said, the realities and secrets of the Holy Quran is according to every level of awliya, starting by the first step awliya, and then go higher and higher, higher and higher, higher and higher, to the perfect and complete awliya, then go higher to the Siddiqs, then go higher to the prophets, then go higher to see the Prophet Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then it will go higher to the divine, the presence of Allah Almighty, which Allah Almighty says no one knows, no one can know the ta'wil, no one can know or reach to be covering or limiting the realities and secrets of the Holy Quran. Of the Holy Quran means the holy godly tongue of Allah Almighty, the divinely godly knowledge from the eternal forever, which Allah Almighty dressed according to the ability of Rasulullah, the seed of Prophet Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But over it, there is the ability of Allah Almighty, and Allah Almighty, He is the one creating ability, and so no, even Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam cannot limit or cover the oceans and the realities of the secrets and the Holy Quran which related to Allah Almighty. And all realities and secrets which is related to the highly descending of the divinely godly word of uniqueness and oneness and attributes and names of Allah Almighty, all these descendant of this holy essence of Allah Almighty, all the knowledge can enter into the ability of Rasulullah, and Rasulullah can cover it. Over it cannot. It will be directly, no one can limit it or enter into it or cover it except the essence of Allah Almighty. وَمَا يَعْلَمُ تَأْوِيلَهُ إِلَّا اللَّهُ. Allah says, no one knows or cover or limit the knowledge of the realities and secrets of the Holy Quran except Allah Almighty. وَالرَّاسِخُونَ فِي الْعِلْمِ. And then Allah giving the awliya and all types of awliya according everyone how his heart can carry, then giving to Siddiqs, then giving to prophets, then giving to seed of Prophet Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, how much they can able to carry and to cover and to limit from the divinely godly knowledge which Allah Almighty dressing to them, especially all of them were dressed this godly, divinely godly knowledge from Rasulullah, seed of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Only Rasulullah, seed of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was directly dressed by all these oceans of realities and secrets, the holy godly tongue of Allah Almighty, directly from the essence of Allah Almighty, because seed of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was representing to all creation, to all manifestation, to all lights, whichever coming from La ilaha illallah, divinely godly tongue of Allah Almighty is Muhammadun Rasulullah. He is the divinely godly tongue of Allah Almighty, whom translating the revelation of Allah Almighty, divinely godly knowledge to all prophets, to all Siddiqs, to all Sahaba, to all Awliyaullah, till Allah Almighty telling him, this is enough, my beloved Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, now give to the ulama and to the people what can enter into their mind, no more to enter into their hearts. And all the ulama and the explanation and all of us, all common people, only they are taking from the ocean of the Holy Quran according to their mind. How much their mind can carry, never going to their heart. And Allah Almighty saying, praising Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in between all prophets and all creation, heavenly creation, earthly creation, that Allah descending the Torah as the tablets, descending the Bible, descending the Zabur, the manuscript, all was descending from Allah Almighty as written to the prophets, except to Rasulullah, Allah praising him, telling him, لو أنزلنا هذا القرآن على جبل لرأيته خاشعا متصدعا من خشية الله. If this Holy Quran, if this holy, godly, divinely revelation of divinely godly, the eternal forever knowledge, I descend them, my beloved Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, on a mountain, even which mean kind of mountains. If all mountains of all universes, not only of Earth, but all universes, all galaxies, all the mountain, whatever, there is a mountain in the kingdom of Allah Almighty, or in heavens, if Allah Almighty descending this holy, godly revelation and knowledge on them, they will be totally melted, disappeared and finished, and no more to exist or to be in existence anymore from the lights and from the inspiration and from the majesty of Allah Almighty and from the divinely lights which coming from Allah Almighty with this ayat over these mountains, all mountains, which mean everything, all earth, creations, mountains, universes, galaxies, heavens, earth, and so on, will be melted and no more existing under the divinely godly Holy Quran, which is the divinely godly knowledge of Allah Almighty from the eternal forever, which He named it as Quran al-Karim. And what Allah Almighty saying, O my beloved Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, O creation, O whom I created, heavenly or earthly, whom they appear from La ilaha illallah. No, offer to be known to all of you. If this divinely godly tongue of revelation of my godly knowledge descended on all mountains, and these mountains refers to the self of everyone. Every self of everyone is a like mountain in the divine presence of Allah Almighty, which means the reality of everyone is like a mountain. If this descend on the realities of all of you, in your mountains, they will be totally finished. لو أنزلنا هذا القرآن على جبل لرأيته خاشعا متصدعا من خشية الله. They will be totally scratching, shaking, as if earthquakes, and finishing, melting. Like this, all creation will be their mountains, and the mountains, physical mountains, all the spiritual mountains representing the realities of every one of us. It will be totally like this, melted and finished. And for this one, Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, when Shaykh said, was asking, "Oh Allah Almighty, let me see you," what Allah said to him, "Oh Musa, look at the mountain." Which mountain? Which mountain? Sayyidina Musa was standing on the mountain of Tur Sinai, not mountain of Sinai. He was standing there up at the top of this mountain, making a seclusion, and at the end of the seclusion, when Allah descending the tablets on him and was engraved on the tablets, on the rocks, he told them, "Oh Allah Almighty, I am talking to you, let me see you." What Allah told them, look at the mountain. Which mountain? And around the mountain of Sinai you will see hundreds of mountains. Look at the mountain. If the mountain, I am going to reflect my lights over the mountain. Only my lights. Not I am going to reflect my wahdaniyah or my uniqueness or my essence. Only the lights of my divine, the godly world of names greatest name of Allah Almighty, when the lights of it will be descending on the mountain, if this mountain exists, you can see me, O Musa alayhi salam. And Allah saying, when Allah Almighty reflecting the light of His greatest name, of Himself, related to Allah Almighty over the mountain. Which mountain? The mountain where Sayyidina Musa was standing, the mountain of Sinai, or the mountains around the mountain of Sinai still they are existing. And the mountain, just Allah Almighty reflecting His light, was totally demolished, finished, no more existing, and Sayyidina Musa was falling down unconscious, totally dead one, totally dead, life taken from him. Allah left him, then after a while Allah recreated him, re-survived him, and he said, what he said, Sayyidina Musa, when Allah surviving him again, فلما تجلى ربه على الجبل جعله دكا وخر موسى صعقا فلما أفاق قال إني تبت إليك وأنا أول المؤمنين. When Allah Almighty reflected His lights, the lights of the divinely godly word of name, not attributes or wahdaniyya or uniqueness or essence of Allah Almighty, but from the divinely godly words of name, the greatest name of Allah Almighty, when Allah ordering the lights of the greatest name to reflect on the mountain, and you must search which mountain, because all the mountains were in this area still existing, and the mountain of Sinai till now is existing, and there is a big church over this mountain now, a temple. And Allah saying, when I reflect my lights over this mountain, when I reflect my lights, when I was looking at this mountain finished. فَلَمَّا تَجَلَّى رَبُّهُ عَلَى الْجَبَلِ. On this mountain, when Allah Almighty was looking and covering it by His light of His greatest name, this mountain was totally no more existing, and Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam fall down dead one, unconscious, dead one. When Allah Almighty say, when he wake up, when Allah make him to be again survived, what he said, فَلَمَّا أَفَاقَ, when he wake up, he said, تُبْتُ إِلَيْكَ, I repent to you, Allah Almighty, from what I was saying to see you. No one there to say, I want to see you, Allah Almighty, and I am, he didn't say I am the first Muslim, but he said, I am the first mu'min, I am the first believers in you. Why? Because before he was dead, unconscious, and Allah Almighty inspiring and reflecting His lights over the mountain, which representing the reality of Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam. Not these mountains which you think, the mountains, ordinary mountains, which they are from sand or rocks, but the reality of Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, which was like a mountain in the divinely presence of realities, in the divinely presence of Allah Almighty. When Allah Almighty reflects His lights on the mountain, on the reality of Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, totally this reality no more to be have immunity to be under the lights of Allah Almighty, was totally melted, no more existing, and then the owner of this reality, whom is Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, no more is alive, was unconscious and dead and no more existing, until Allah Almighty is surviving him. Well, now Allah Almighty surviving him again, Shaykh said, by the divinely godly light from Allah Almighty. Now he is survived by malakuti light from Allah Almighty, by divinely light from the ocean of uniqueness of Allah Almighty, from the ocean of wahdaniyya of Allah Almighty. No more he was the Musa before he was finished. Now he is a divinely one, he dressed to be divinely elements, godly elements from Allah Almighty, and for this he was able to see Allah Almighty and to repent. And he didn't say, I'm Muslim, but I am mu'min, believing, because he's seeing now Allah Almighty. He saw Allah Almighty. And for this Rasulullah and the Sahaba, well, when she said between each other, saying, our beloved Muhammad better than any other prophet, he is the master, the Lord of them, as Rasulullah said, and they were discussing how much Rasulullah better than this one better than that, the other prophet better than that. Then he said, don't say anything about the prophets, don't differentiate between them. When your Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam in the day of resurrection, in the day of judgment, is going to be survived and to be invited to be in the divine presence of Allah Almighty and making sujood, I am now seeing there the one who is catching and carrying with the malaika the throne of Allah Almighty, my brother Musa alayhi salam. Because after he already died and unconscious and Allah recreated him again, Sayyidina Musa forever is living by divinely life from Allah Almighty and always in the divine presence of Allah Almighty. I am seeing him alive before me as if he is in the divine presence of Allah Almighty under the throne of Allah Almighty. And Allah praising that the Holy Quran, this our story is about now, this wisdom, that the whole Quran, the divinely godly tongue of Allah Almighty, and Shaykh said, and Maulana Qaddasallahu Sirruh, what they said, that the divinely godly tongue of Allah Almighty, whom is Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, translating the realities and secrets of the divinely godly knowledge to all manifestation coming out of La ilaha illallah. Allah saying, if this knowledge were addressed to any mountain, will be totally no more existing, my beloved Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But be known to all your creation and manifestation that all these divinely godly secrets and realities and godly knowledge for the eternal forever, to be known that it rests on the mountain of reality of my beloved Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and Rasulullah was still existing as he is in the divine presence of Allah Almighty. Never happened to him like Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam to be unconscious or to be melted, but he was resisting, existing, carrying on his heart and on chest, on the mountain of his reality, the divinely godly, pre-eternal, forever realities and secrets of the divinely godly teaching of Allah Almighty, and never changing in Rasulullah. Even between people he was as he is in the divinely presence of Allah Almighty, under all these lights of all the descendants of Allah Almighty, from the absolute identity to the essence of Allah Almighty, from the essence to uniqueness, from the descendant of uniqueness to Wahdani of oneness of Allah Almighty, divinely attributes, divinely names of Allah Almighty, and Rasulullah as he is in the divinely presence of Allah Almighty, never finished or never unconscious or never was to be melted or no more to be disappeared and to be recreated again, because already Allah created him to be his element, not as the element of humankind or any creation, but his elements. These the elements of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the element of the heart of Rasulullah was created to be from the elements of the realities and secrets of godly realities and secrets and knowledge from the eternal forever, from the elements of the ocean of uniqueness of ahadiyya of Allah Almighty. And for this Rasulullah was as he is, still he is as he was, and forever he will be as he was in pre-eternal. Like this, Rasulullah, Allah descending the Holy Quran over him, Allah telling, and to all his manifestation to be known, if this Holy Quran descend on a mountain, لو أنزلنا هذا القرآن على جبل لرأيته خاشعا متصدعا من خشية الله. It will be totally shaking and melting and demolishing and no more existing, while I am descending it on your heart, my beloved Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and nothing is changing me. As you are. لو أنزلنا هذا القرآن على جبل لرأيته خاشعا متصدعا من خشية الله وتلك الأمثال نضربها للناس لعلهم يتفكرون. And all these examples, when Shaykh said and Maulana, we are, Allah saying, I am giving to all you manifestation to be known to you as examples, to know whom my beloved sealed of Prophet Muhammad Rasulullah to me, and whom is to you. And for this he said, Rasulullah, in the Holy Quran, Allah telling him, tell them, إِنَّمَا أَنَا بَشَرٌ مِثْلُكُمْ, I looks like you a human one, but I am not a human one. إِنَّمَا أَنَا بَشَرٌ مِثْلُكُمْ يُوحَى إِلَيّْ, I am like you, looks like a human, but I am in reality a divinely one. My elements from the ocean of uniqueness of Allah Almighty, always I am connected with the divinely presence of Allah Almighty by revelation, because I am the divinely godly tongue of Allah Almighty to translate the revelation, the divinely godly teaching of realities and secrets of the godly knowledge from pre-eternal forever to all manifestation and lights appearing from La ilaha illallah. And then they are dressed to whom? Where they want to, where they continue their journey from La ilaha illallah, they continue their journey to Muhammadun Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then Allah Almighty telling him, after finishing training them in Muhammadun Rasulullah, return them to me, my beloved. Muhammad, well trained, well educated, well prepared to be no more one of them if I am inspiring or sending my light over him to be happen to him like what happened to Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, to his mountain, to his reality, to the mountain of his reality. And like this, Allah saying, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. We are continuing our journey from pre-eternal, from La ilaha illallah to Muhammadun Rasulullah forever, then returning to from Muhammadun Rasulullah to the divinely godly word of La ilaha illallah. And for this, Allah saying, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. They are not for you, my beloved Muhammad, they are for me. I own them. I am giving them to you, but I own them. You will return them to me as after well preparing them and training them and practicing them and educating them by practicing to be divinely one, their elements from the elements of the ocean of wahdaniyya, of oneness of Allah Almighty. Cannot reach to uniqueness, only to the wahdaniyya. And for this, all this story, what for now, that what you need now, all of you, not only here but all over the world, they need all of them we need, what we need to practice, to train, to be completed by practicing the teaching of Maulana Shaykh Nazim, Grand Shaykh, all Grand Shaykhs of Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, Sayyidina Ali Adnan alayhi, the teaching which Allah Almighty addressed to Rasulullah, so that you will be dressed by divinely elements and realities, so that when you, instead to wait till forever to return to Allah Almighty, from now to reach to return to Allah Almighty by choosing, not as obligatory, but by choosing to return by free will to Allah Almighty and to be dressed to be divinely one. Abdi ata'ani, O my servant, obey me, I will make you a divinely godly one. If you say to something be, it will be by your free will, not by obligatory. And for this, all the teaching, all they are depending on one point, taqwa, makhafatullah, practicing what you taught from Maulana Shaykh Nazim and the Grand Shaykh. But we are spending our life, our time in practicing how to collect money, how to collect to be rich, how to be well living, how to have palaces, hotels, good living, prosperity, cars, everything, and we forget Allah Almighty. We forget that we are returning to Allah Almighty. When we know we are returning to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and to Allah Almighty, when Maulana say, when Allah will wake up us, wake up, my servants, by sending the angel of death, Israel alayhi salam, when he flap you and make you to turn 360 degrees, unconscious, forcefully taking your soul, taking it back to its source. Then you will be under this burden in a grave, in the warehouses, today of judgment, to practice what you were being taught in this life, to practice it now. But they're very difficult to practice it, because no more this physical body can help you. No more. It will be a barzakhi body, a light body, which cannot do what now this physical body can do. And then it will be very difficult for the one there. There is no dollars, no money, no prosperity, no buildings, no palaces, no gardens, no luxurious life, nothing. It will be there only darkness over darkness, darkness over darkness, darkness over darkness, that the one, if he will try to see his hand, not able to see his fingers and his hand, only he is able to bite his fingers and to say, if I was practicing and following the teaching of my beloved Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and whom he addressed them on us, Maulana Shaykh Nazim and Grand Shaykh for us, and Maulana Shaykh Nazim, Qaddasallahu Sirru Sultan of Awliya, it was much more better for me than to be following these bad ones, these bad friends, myself. The first is yourself, your ego, the first bad one, not people, not the friends, the coffee house people, your friends, no. But yourself, your ego, whom you are following, your desires, your shaitan, these are your friends now, whom you are following and doing by their advice. They are your advisor. But what they advise you, you are doing well, practicing well what they do to you, to tell you, and following their teaching. You will be say, if I didn't listen to them, if I was only practicing the teaching of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in his way, in the way of Siddiqs, which means all Siddiqs, Grand Shaykh, Maulana to Maulana Shaykh Nazim, all these Siddiqs, if I was in their way, it was much more better for me than to be in the way of these bad friends whom they make me to miss, to forget, to miss zikrullah, to forget Allah Almighty. Not to remember Allah Almighty, but to remember how to live and to have nice life for my physical body. Now, this physical body finished in the grave, only now the mountain of your reality, your essence is existing, but without a physical body. How you are going to deal that? With Allah Almighty and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Siddiqs. But you are going to do that. There you will wake up. Then Allah will take all cover from your eyes. They will be well sharpened. And for this you will see the dead one always die and open eyes following his soul where it is going. Then they will come, the family, and they close his eyes. Because he will look to where the soul is driving the malaika, the soul, to the divine oceans, where is going to complete its practicing and what she taught by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and by Siddiqs, and she forget the body, physical body, make the soul not to practice and to act by what was taught and dressed to the physical body, but making the soul to be jailed and to act your physical body according to your bad friends and your desires and to your shaitan and to your ego and to yourself, whom you took them as a friend, whom they make you to forget Allah Almighty, to forget Zikrullah Azza wa Jal, to forget everything related to Allah Almighty, to Rasulullah, to Akhirah, and then the soul will be blaming you. Then I blame you and telling you, repent to Allah Almighty. Be in the way of Allah Almighty. All of what you are doing is useless, not going to benefit you, only going to benefit you for a limit time, 30 years, until the angel of death will come and take this soul. And when Shaykh and Maulana say, how much you are going to live in this life? What is your real age? What is your real time in this life? The real age of the one of us is between two breathing, inhaling and exhaling. If you inhale and Allah kept it inside, you are dead. If you exhale, giving it out, and Allah kept it out, not returning it to you, then what happened to you first? This is your age, between these two breathing. And even though we are like animals, donkeys, sleeping, snoring, after doing all kind of badness with Allah Almighty, then snoring, sleeping, till it will be time to go to work. Quickly, but at least by 2 o'clock, I don't know what time now. I want to reach, traffic jam, difficult how to reach my work. I want to go quickly. Quickly they will be running towards their work. They sit in their offices and they start to work, or labor, start to be working, making their physical body under the burden of work and under the burden of all kinds of trouble and all kind of pain and suffering and miseries all day, to earn at the end a few rupees to bring for them some rice, some food to the house to eat and to drink. But how about your soul? You bring any food for the soul? You gain some rupees to bring something for your soul? Also, as your physical body wants to eat, your soul wants to eat. What you are feeding your soul at the end of the day? What you are giving her? She wants to eat. Also, she is hungry. You make her to sleep hungry, your soul, while your physical body, you fill your stomach, and you will be snoring, because the stomach will be reflecting the vapor of the stomach on the heart, on the lungs, and you will be snoring and changing from right to left, pain here, pain there, like this, until, and the soul totally hungry, suffering, starving, no food for her, because you didn't earn any rupees for her to buy food for her. And like this we spend our life until the angel of death come and wake up. Wake, 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 yalla. The alarm, watch, ringing, wake up. If you don't wake up, then he will flap you. Then you will be rotating. And then, who are you? Oh, me? Now you know who I am. When he will take, I will take your soul, you know. and he will take your soul, and yallah. Then your soul look at your body from up now. She will see if you know. No more, it will be swollen. Then quickly they say, the family around you, quickly, how much they love you, how much they respect you, how much they were familiar with you. No, quickly, Allah wash him. If he's a Muslim, they wash him. If not Muslim, Allah burn him. And they throw him in the graveyard, and all they will be in hurry to, they think they have good tidings if they throw the sand over him. Throw sand, and he will come down cursing them. So heavy sand over me like a mountain, crazy people. How much I serve you in my life, now you are putting all sand over me to finish me in this hole down under the earth, and then they return to the house. Some of them crying, some of them cursing, some of them happy. How much he will leave for them, they will be happy. If he didn't leave anything for them, they will curse him. If he left too much things, they start to fight each other. They go to courts, and they start to make problem how to get the inheritance. And the dead one in the grave, under the punishment and beating of this malaika, so ugly malaika, Allah will send for him that he is not able even to look at his face until they will be broken every piece of bones of him, finishing him totally, and then he will be waiting for some sadaqah. Now he will be waiting for donation. He will want sadaqah. Oh, where are my sons? Where are my daughters? Where are my wife? Where are my family to send me a Fatiha? To send me a Qul Huwallahu Ahad? To send me Zikrullah? Hell anna, they say, we forget you. You were bothering all our life, always complaining, always shouting at us. Now we want to remember you, yallah. Hell anna. And some of them also, they are so happy, they go and also they pass their urine on the grave of this dead one, yalla finish. And they finish it. And every year, they will be dealing between each other. At least we go, now it is Eid al-Fitr or Eid al-Adha, let us go to visit the grave. No need, it's bid'ah. No need to visit him. Why to visit him? What he is going to get benefit from our visiting. And he will be calling from down, oh, curse on you bad ones. Even a visit, you don't want to come and visit me. Allah curse you as you are treating me like this badly. Allah send your sons and your families which coming from you to treat you as you are treating me. Like this, the father and mother will make dua and tell their sons and their daughters. May Allah forgive us and mercy us. So the best thing is now to remember Allah Almighty, to practice what Maulana Shaykh Nazim, he taught us, what he spent all his life in devoting his life to Allah Almighty and Rasulullah to serve us. To why he was serving us, for our money, he was giving. How much you give him, he take from here, he will spend from here. Never remain in his pocket. And only he want to serve because Allah appointed him to be assistant to Rasulullah to save you from your shaitan, from your desires, from your ego, and to bring you to the way of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to the way where you will be always remembering Allah Almighty, so that Allah will be remembering you and Rasulullah and make you in their ways, reaching to be a divine one, because this life is only a limit life for a certain years and you will pass away. The best one in this life who try to spend whatever he earned plus on his family, to spend them on the way of Allah Almighty. Where there is poor ones, where there's orphans, where there's refugees, where there's ones whom they need something to give them. I saw 2 days ago, Faiz, the friend of Haji Azza, the best friend of Haji Azza, Faiz Alawi, bringing these people, what you are doing? We are building mosque. And people want mosque. People want something to eat. All they are poor. What they will do with the mosque? Allah making for Rasulullah all the earth to be mosque. Wherever you put yourself on the earth, face the Kaaba, face the Qibla, face Allah Almighty. If you are not able to know where is the Kaaba, wherever you face Allah, say, my face is there, pray to me. You can pray everywhere. But is there anyone going around to teach people how to find Allah Almighty, how to make their house to be mosque, how to make their realities to be a mountains full with immunity on what descending from the lights of Allah Almighty and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? You will not find except Mawlana Shaykh Nazim Qaddasallah Surur and Shaykh. Oh, now we are waiting from the successor Shaykh Muhammad to see what he is going to open doors for practicing and teaching. At least we will be learning from him humbleness and politeness and to be humble. This is enough, because all of us now, we inherited only proudness and seeing ourselves something important. No one is humble with the other. And you see now, you are sitting, everyone, look at yourself. I am facing you, isn't it? But you are facing each other, everyone turning his back to the other. No one facing the other. Why? From proudness. I'm better than you. Why to face you? I give you my back better for you. And like this, then Allah Almighty will wake us up one day by angel of death, so that to be in the grave, then you will be facing everyone, looking at everyone. Someone mercy you, someone reciting Fatiha for you, someone giving talqeen for you, someone cursing you, someone saying you didn't left anything for us, someone will pass urine over you, someone will be running away from you, and then you will be all alone in this hall, no one with you except your good deeds or your bad deeds. If the good deeds of your deeds were good in this life, you were practicing, remembering Allah Almighty and Rasulullah, you will find them there, making you this hall to be paradise, Jannah for you. And if you forget them and you miss dhikrullah and you take your ego and your desire and yourself and shaitan to be friends for you, whom they make you to miss dhikrullah, to forget Allah Almighty and Rasulullah, they will tell you now, be happy, this hall is going to be Jahannam, hell for you. And they will run away. Like this we finish. Then Allah will leave us like this in warehouses till the day of judgment. Day of resurrection, when Allah will order, blow the horn now. And all of them, they will be recreated and coming for questioning by Allah Almighty. When Allah will call everyone by one, come my servant, come, most welcome, come to question what you are going to do. Prophets, see, all prophets, except seals of prophet. Big position prophets like Sayyidina Nuh, Sayyidina Ibrahim, Sayyidina Musa, Sayyidina Isa, Sayyidina Adam alayhi, they will be shivering in between the hand of Allah Almighty, trembling, shivering. They will say, oh, the earth open and swallow us. A shade from Allah Almighty. Prophets. And how about us? You dare to look at the face of Allah Almighty? What you will tell him? If he told you by what you were busy in the past life, I created you and I put you in this life. Why? What the wisdom? What Allah saying? وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. I created you to worship me. Now to worship, not to worship dollars, not to worship this materialistic life. I gave you whatever you want. Why you don't spend it in my way? Why you didn't help people by it? Why you didn't help my people? Why you forget me and you put all in the banks, $1 over the other, one over the other, and the banks happy taking the money from you and give you a paper that you have like this. Hey, who cares for this paper? Then all of a sudden they said this bank is bankrupt and the money finished. Keep this paper, perhaps we use it in toilet. Like this. May Allah forgive us and mercy us. Allah to make us all the time to be remembering Allah Almighty, not to forget Him, and to remember Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to remember awliya, not to miss dhikrullah azza wa jal, and to be all the time under practicing the teaching of Mawlana Shaykh Nazim Qaddas Allah Subhanahu Grand Shaykh, and also إلى شرف النبي سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى وصحبه أضل أستاذنا وأستاذ صديقنا ماتنا ومات المسلمين نعم بجاه أحابي وخاص شيخ عثمان ولي الله يقدس إلام لله تعالى الفاتح. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Now في شراط إن شاء الله. Remember Allah. So better for you to sleep. Make your day and night sleeping. At least you will see Allah Almighty. When Awliya, he said, I saw Allah Almighty. So if you want to see Allah Almighty, sleep.